Welcome back to Drums and Nonsense. Hey, it's Chad from the couch. Welcome. I decided to look at some different things that would have helped me growing up to learn to play. It's kind of a neat thing to think about what people that you love the way they play, what do they listen to? What did they watch? What did they do? Did they go out and get a bunch of Starlight videos and learn how to play licks and go get Vinny and Carmine's videos? I don't know. It's realistic double bass rock, but I don't know. It probably is realistic. I never even looked at the book.
It's probably great.
We're starting with number 5. I actually don't have a number 5. I've only got 4 videos. I had a VHS player. Pretty limited. We're starting with number 4. Number 4. Back to Basics by Dave Weckl. I had this video cassette. One of my drum students gave it to me because it was too advanced for him, so he was frustrated with this video, so he just gave it to me. He says, here, this is yours. It was amazing. I showed it to almost all my friends in college. I'm like, watch how to tune drums. And it taught me how to tune drums extremely low, which I love the way it sounds. Sometimes it doesn't come across live as well, but if you're on a microphone, I think it's very cool sounding, but it's so low pitched, but I still tune the same way that Dave Weckl tuned. Dave Weckl video really helped me out. His Back to Basics video was simple, that he taught you how to hold a stick, how to really think about these things, and I liked it. I sit there and watched him, but the main thing was he would show you him being a badass at the different parts of the video, and watching him do these licks is what taught me to do licks like this. I'm like, okay, so when it came time to do a Weckl thing a couple of years ago from Chicoria, I was surprised how much easier it was because I'd kind of worked these licks out watching him play and then working out, okay, can I do this? And almost everybody in college was doing the same thing anyway. But the Back to Basics video was the first introduction that I had where I could really see it up close and see what was going on. Number 3, Live Without a Net, Van Halen. This came on, we had a massive 14-foot satellite dish in the middle of the sticks in Georgia where I was from.
This thing was massive.
So we'd flip it up on HBO and I would get to see a couple of different concerts, and 2 of the concerts from this are in this list of mine. Van Halen, Live Without a Net, no doubt is one of my favorite all-time live concerts. It taught me how to play to the point where there's problems in my playing because I paid so much attention to the way Alex and Eddie worked together with the band. They would move, the tempos really slow down. And I noticed this when I went back and watched the video. I haven't thought about this in years, but I do. Sometimes I want to hold back on the 1 after a big major moment in a song, and I want to hold the 1 back a minute and then bring it back in the 2, and by the 3, it's back locked into the grid. And I love doing that on my own music, but it's hard to get musicians to do it on the cuff and on the fly, and when I'm playing covers that never works because nobody's following me. They've already recorded this back in 1973. But listen to them play. He would drag the first note after a fill, and he would hold it back, and they would hold it back together and then bring it back in, and all of a sudden it's just grooving again. I really learned how to play watching this and sitting here feeling this, and every time I'd watch Alex hold it back, I thought, well, this is how you do it. He's a professional. He's a great drummer. This is exactly how you do it. This is how you do it if you have people that are in tune with the way you feel something. Then a song breathes, and that's a song breathing. That video really inspired me to just be into all those Van Halen songs. I was surprised how much I loved 80s Van Halen. When people talk about Van Halen, they really want to go before the 1984 album. For me, that 1984 album and stuff after were so good. God, Best of Both Worlds, just still so good. Number 2, Beat of the Live Drum. Recorded from HBO to straight to VHS cassette, just like I did with the Van Halen one. I did the same thing with Rick Springfield. I loved Beat of the Live Drum. Mike Baird playing, Tim Pierce playing. Wow. I don't know who the bass player was on this one.
Or the keyboard player, goodness, or the sax player. I don't know who any of those guys were. I know who the cast that I was focused on.
And Tim Pierce impressed me so much as a guitar player playing that gig that I follow him and still try to play guitar like Tim to this day. Mike Baird, I watched everything he did, all his mannerisms, all the way he did, the way he hit a floor tom on the 4, the way he would do any of his mannerisms. I would learn, and I would practice setting my drums up, and I would try to set my 10-inch tom way high up and try to figure it out and go down. And it was just neat to do this and watch those musicians play in that sort of huge arena. And Beat of the Live Drum was kind of fixed as almost like a studio album, but live at the same time. Like they went back through and maybe either recorded a lot of the stuff. It was done so well to me, and I loved it. And it meant so much watching all those guys play. Watching Tim play guitar and watching Mike play drums really taught me to be a musician. Watching that video, so good. I watched it
over and over and over.
It just wore it out in places where the tape would look like some kind of crazy effect. Number 1, here we go. Grace Under Pressure, Rush. I watched that over and
over again.
Watching Neil play, and it was licks that were accessible to a drummer that just had really gotten their first parts of 30-second notes together, understanding triplets, understanding upbeats, understanding odd time signatures. It was a real big moment for a young drummer because those things come to you as one of your first progressions. It spoke to me at the time. Someone played me Permanent Waves. I said, Chad, go get Permanent Waves and listen to Spirit of the Radio. I'm like, okay, what is this? I was mind blown. Because my first Rush album was actually Time Stands Still. Time Stands Still was the single from it with Amy Mann, and Amy Mann's the reason I even like Rush, because I was like, oh, what is Amy Mann doing singing with this band? And then I was like, this is cool, and all the great electronic drum sounds.
So good.
But Grace Under Pressure, I got that VHS, and I watched that over and over and over, way more than Exit Stage Left or anything. Grace Under Pressure.
Watching that red drum set spin around.
Modern Drummer doing that huge giveaway of the Candy Apple Red Tama when he was switching. I think he was going to Ludwig, and they were getting rid of the Tama Red, and that Candy Apple Red set was, to me, Tama's pride and joy as a endorser. It was like a Superstar set or something, and then he went to the Ludwig Classics and then went to DW, I believe, after that. I think it's a progression of Neil's drums. Let me know in the comments. I don't know.
Oh,
let me know y'all's top 5 or top 4 videos that you grew up watching. Were they Starlick things? Were there videos that DCI put out? Was it videos like that, or was it bands? Was it live artists? And how did you learn? What did you do to learn? Because these videos did it for me. Watching Neil throw drumsticks and twirl drumsticks made me want to throw drumsticks and twirl drumsticks. And watch my videos, goodness gracious, I'm silly with it. I love it. It was some of the first fun things that I loved to go do was play big arenas, sound checks, work on how high could I throw the drumsticks safely and be able to catch it every time. But that was totally from watching Neil play and then getting to go see him on the Presto tour later. Oh gosh, so good, and Roll of Bones. Oh, so many good things with that. But Grace Under Pressure really, really changed me. I love the electronics. Watching those Simmons flip around is amazing, and I've done videos trying to emulate that stuff, and it made such an impression on me as a young drummer watching him control electronics, control all the mallet percussion, which I'm like, okay, let's learn all the mallets.
Here we go, ding, ding, ding. Let's go. No, I don't want Kurtalis.
So there are my top four videos for teaching me how to play music.
I am
out.
See ya.
Bye. What? You're playing Request for Kids now?
Yes, I am.